afternoon, everybody. Great to see such a great turnout for our 2023 Summer Band concert. This is our second year that we've returned of Summer Band, but if you look in your program, you'll actually see that Brunswick Middle School's Summer Band actually goes all the way back to like the 1970s. So you can read all about that history in your program, but it's really exciting that we're kind of able to bring this back post-COVID, and we have had such a great week. To give you an idea of our daily schedule, obviously, you know that we showed up here about 9 o'clock, and every morning we do some quick announcements, and then we'll warm up with our instruments. And warming up is just like you would with any sports. You have to stretch, you have to do some jogging, things like that. It's the same thing with our instruments. We have to warm up our air and our lungs and our embouchures, our lips, things like that, and our hands for a percussionist, things like that, to get ready to perform. Again, just like you would for sports. So we do about a 20 to 30 minute warm up, and then we rehearse a little bit in the morning, and then at 9:30 we went to our sectionals, and our sectionals are basically like small groups. So the trumpets would go to one area, the French horns would go to one area, the flutes go to one area, and we were able to have lots of different teachers that I'll introduce you in just a second to work with each of those sections. And that is really how we're able to put a concert together in just 4 days. As you know, we have our concerts during the school year, and then, a lot of times that takes us about 2.5 months to prepare a concert like you might hear today. But these students have put this concert together in just 4 days. So we're super excited to share all of their hard work with you. But after our sectional time, we would go back in the band room, and then we would do like a combined rehearsal. So all that work that we did in those small groups, we would come back all together, hear what it sounds like, and put some things together, make it sound a little bit more cleaner, things like that. And then we would have a music competition. And competitions, the students won different prizes. Mr. Little's going to talk about that in just a little bit, but super fun time there. And then we got to go to recess. So on Tuesday, we played some dodgeball. And then on Thursday, we did some basketball, and then we did some more dodgeball yesterday. And unfortunately, the teachers lost to the 7th graders. Boo. I thought you were going to, that's fine. But the 7th graders beat the teachers this year. Next year, we'll get them next year. Let's see. So, but it was a good time. We had a lot of fun during that recess time. And then right after that, we went to a little snack time in the cafeteria. And we had so many volunteers that helped this week. Again, Mr. Little will kind of give them a shout out a little bit later, Mr. Raybar. But this would not be possible with, just the few directors that we had. So many people involved to make this week such a successful and fun week. But after recess, we come back for a short little rehearsal, put everything together one more time, and then we would have our Spirit Day competitions, and there are surprises for that. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. Every day has been such a blast. It's been so fun to see these students. We haven't seen them for a couple weeks since we got out of school, but we've had a great time. We're excited to share their concert with you today. So a few people I want to introduce very quickly before we jump into our first music. We had a total of 7 teachers that kind of helped with all the sectionals, the music, things like that. Again, my name is Mr. Allen. I had the opportunity to teach our middle school students here at Brunswick Middle School. Our next director is Mr. E. Raybar. Are you over here, Mr. Raybar? There's Mr. Raybar. There he is. Mr. Raybar is our high school band director. He also teaches a little bit of the 6th grade bands here at the middle school as well. And then 2 of our assistant band directors, we have Mr. Scott Little. Come on up, Mr. Little. Mr. Little has been working on the sectionals, things like that. And then one of our other assistant directors is Mr. Bennett. Where is Mr. Bennett? Is he up? Where are you, Mr. Bennett? Oh, there he is. Mr. Bennett in the back. Mr. Bennett, he works with all of our percussionists, middle school and high school. He starts the beginning. He works with all the high school students with the marching band. He does so much for us, and really wouldn't be able to have the quality of a program with our percussion section without him. So we're really appreciative of all of his hard work. And finally, we have 3 instructors, and they came for the sectionals to work with the flutes, the clarinets, and the French horns. First is Miss Michaela Marasegan, who's right here. If you'll stand and be recognized. Miss Marasegan, if you have a current who just finished 8th grade or 7th grade, you might remember Miss Marasegan. She actually filled in when we had our second daughter. She was the kind of the substitute teacher for a couple weeks while I was out. So we're really happy to have her back a little bit. Mrs. Woods, who is our flute instructor, she teaches many of our students private lessons. So if you have a student who maybe plays flutes, she would definitely be the person to reach out for private lessons. She's not able to make it today. She has her 1-year-old grandson in town, but we'll give her a round of applause as well for Mrs. Woods. And last but not least, we have Mrs. Timko, who the past few years taught at Huntington Elementary School. We'll give her a round of applause as well, Mrs. Timko. So without further ado, we're really excited to get started here with our performance. We're going to start with a piece called Skyward Bound, and this is a piece written by James Swearingen, and really excited to welcome Mr. Scott Little to the podium. Let's give him a round of applause. Okay, as our students are getting ready for the next piece, as Mr. Allen said, I am Mr. Scott Little, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of those things he was talking about. The really fun things that we get to do, because it's summer band, so we get to do these extra little competitions and Spirit Wear days. I'm going to talk about that for a second and recognize some of our winners. So one of the things we do is we have warm-ups that we do. You heard them right before the concert, and there are things that are fundamentals, and some of them are tricky, but most of them are pretty simple until you make them really, really fast. I agree. Until you make them really, really fast. So what we would do is everyone would play a warm-up. We would pick one, and we would get faster and faster and faster, and as soon as the student made a mistake, they had to honor system drop out until we got down to just the top 5 people. And it was really incredible because when you give these students a challenge, as you know, they really rise to the occasion. We heard some really awesome playing from some of them. I was blown away. So we're going to take a second. We're going to recognize these people. If you are someone who received candy because you won a music competition, if you're percussion, you can raise your hand, or if you're a wind player, you can stand on up and be recognized. Thanks a lot. Also, we did Spirit Wear. So every single day we had a theme, and we don't, regular school dress code, and so we got to do like crazy, crazy wild things, and students got to be really creative with this. So we had things that were tied to summer or to our music. Our first one, because we know these students, probably most of them wouldn't even be awake right now, we had a PJ day on the first day. If you are someone who received a cereal box, you're wearing very wild, slippers and PJs and blankets and stuffed animals and maybe bedhead hair or something like that, go ahead and stand on up. Nice job to those people. And sit down, thank you so much. Second day, because we do have a superhero song coming up very soon with a special guest, we had Superhero Day, and people were coming in all of their regalia with that. A couple of them got into that one a little bit more than I thought they would, which is really cool. If you received a keychain, a superhero keychain for that, please stand up. Many people got keychains that day. And our final day, thank you so much, was Beach Day, because we know how wonderful how the weather has been here in Ohio the past few days. And so if you were someone who received a pineapple for maybe having, floaties and sunscreen on their face and a tan, whatever, that sort of stuff, go ahead and stand on up. But even beyond that, even beyond our people who went the wildest, we had many, many people participated. So if you're a student who in any way participated in any of our Spirit Days, raise your hand or stand on up. And that's pretty much it. Thank you so much, students. Go ahead and take your seats. All right, without further ado, we're going to our second piece. In order to talk about that piece and then conduct it, we have Mr. Ethan Uebar.
All right, everyone. So again, like Mr. Little said, my name is Ethan Raybar. I am the high school band director here in Brunswick City Schools, and I also teach sixth grade band. I'm going to talk a little bit about the literature that we kind of selected. So in summer band, we try to come up with some really cool music for our students to play. So when selecting literature for this year's summer band, we try to find some fun things, exciting things, novelty things. This next piece, I actually had worked with my middle school students back when I taught at Edwards Byzantiner, and when we were looking at music, this piece came to mind immediately. So Casey's Last Run is about the faithful wreck of engine number 382. In this piece, you're going to hear recreations of various train effects, including releasing of steam, exploding of torpedo detonators, and of course the wreck. Our percussion students play a critical role in simulating the moving locomotive and provide a really cool musical effect. I hope you enjoy the performance of Casey's Last Run by Timothy Loest. Thank you. So first off, before we get to our last tune for you today, I do a lot of thank yous. The first thank you goes to our high school students. So those who don't know, I have my high school students coming from the high school that actually work with some of our students this week. They're volunteering their time out of their own summer to help with running music sectionals. They were here early the first day with organizing the rooms, organizing all the music, getting the rooms set up, helping fold programs, participating in the spirit days, and just being really great examples and students and role models for our younger students. For those students who are high school students that helped out this week, if you're a percussionist, raise your hand, and then of course the wind players, please stand up. So please stand up to be recognized. Thank you. We're hoping in the future, of course, this is our second year doing it, and when they were, obviously, they're in high school now, they didn't have middle school summer band at the time, so we're hoping that maybe we have some future high school volunteers helping out a couple years with the summer band and the next future. Also, I want to say a special thank you to our BPPO. Our BPPO is a band parent organization group, so all parents, all families who are involved in the band program in Brunswick City Schools are part of the BPPO, but we have parents who are on the exec board who help with organizing things to help get everything done for our program. And I want to thank our BPPO organization, of course all of our parents who donated food and water for snack time this week, all the parents who also helped with supervising students and things like that. So give them a round of applause, please. I also want to thank our administration, again, and for their support of the music program and allowing us to do this during the summer times and using the buildings. I also want to, of course, thank our custodians, because around this time of the year for custodians, they're under a lot of work and under pressure of trying to get those buildings cleaned for the next school year. So us having activities during the building during the day, can be a little challenging. But again, I appreciate them for helping us out, getting us wherever we need, and I appreciate all their assistance during this week. And of course, I want to especially special thank you to the parents here in the audience. Thank you for believing music education, having your students sign up, part of summer band, and of course, thank the students for participating. It's been a blast working with this week, and again, I want to remind you, we were only here for 4 days, and we put a whole concert together. So can we give our students a round of applause for their hard work this week? Alright, so the next in our final number is the Avengers. We have a special guest conductor. I talked to Jason Niedermeyer. I'm like, okay, who can we contact in the Avengers? How much money can we put out to get someone good? So the district put out, a lot of money, thanks to our voters, of course. And we got Captain America to conduct this concert, this last piece. So please put your hands together, and a special welcome to Captain America.
All right, so everyone, once again, we want to thank you for coming to our 2023 Summer Band Concert. Let's give these students one more giant round of applause for all their hard work. All right, so we are going to have our students clean up just a little bit. We've got a pretty structured thing that we're going to do. They kind of already know what to do, so it'll just be a couple minutes. We're going to bring the screen down here. You're welcome to stay as long as you'd like to watch the video again if you'd like to. Obviously, you're welcome to leave as well. If you're in a rush and you need to leave right away, that's okay as well. All right, well, I have to get back to saving the world, but thank you one more time for coming. Have a great rest of your summer, everybody.
What?